Hello and welcome to another episode of me painting again. Oh yes, we're painting again. I've got my bit of chalk because I just want to give myself a few guides in this. It's a very cloudy scene, and it was when I was out walking. I did the other one of the water, and this one it was on the way back, and. Trees, and it was extremely dark. It is in fact raining now. It was unbelievable actually, because I took so many different types of photos and the weather just was so changed so many times. It was nice and warm, and then suddenly, not so much. Well, that's a basic drawing. I don't really need to do too much drawing. After all, I'm a painter. Yeah, I'm not much of a drawer. I'm more of a painter. So, just going to wipe these two brushes. They're only cheap brushes, these. Little art studio brushes. A couple of cheap ones. But what I like to do is I take them out of the packet and feel the bristles. I don't want any of those horrible, really hard brushes. And I don't want the ones that are really soft, that the hairs fall out. The perfect cheap ones, they're soft still, almost like watercolour brushes, but they're not too soft that they fold under pressure. You see, the really hard brushes are alright, but the problem is if you use them like brush end like this way and try and put paint on, it scrapes your paint away, and so that's a bit of a problem with that kind of brush. Anyway, it's all personal, isn't it, what brushes we like. So we'll get some titanium white. I've only got a few colours: ultramarine blue, alizarin crimson, white. There's chromium oxide green. It's a homemade paint, and I just thought I'd use it. Some ivory black and some I think that's lemon yellow. Any yellow's alright. It's just for the grass part. So I'm just mixing myself up a blue. Good old ultramarine blue. Sometimes I put a bit of cerulean blue in my ultramarine blue to get my sky colour. You can get quite a nice, almost perfect sky colour doing that. But I'm alright with this, it's not too far off. I quite like ultramarine blue anyway. It's a nice blue. So I'm just going to use this. This brush is the number, let's have a look, number 7. I'm not sure what that even means. Because maybe it's the size of these ones. Because some of them are, let's have a look. Yeah, number 10's bigger. It's number 7 in this range anyway. Just from the range. If you have an art store called The Range, well, it's more of a mix, it's all sorts in it actually. It's a range of things. That's where they get the name from. A nice bit of blue. Bit of blue here as well, a bit lighter than that though. That. And some there. It's quite light on the horizon. So I'll try and get that bit there. Okay, just sit back, have a look at that. Happy with that. Now I might do the bulk of the cloud up here. Grab my other brush, the number 12. This is mightier than the other brush. What I'm going to do, I'm going to make a dark, got some crimson and some blue, ultramarine blue and alizarin crimson. I'll throw some black in it and then some white. A bit more crimson, I think. I know what colour I'm after, and it's about that. Sort of a reddish, dark. Looks about right. It's a bit pale. It's a little bit pale, but it's dark enough for now. Amazing, actually. I put that up to my photo. So what this photo, I'll just show you it actually. I'm not going to paint it exactly the same because I've already made some changes that I like. Well, here's the photo. Hopefully it's not too shiny. But yeah, it's got this really deep, dark colour there. And look at my paint in comparison. My paint's well lighter. Hope you could see that. But yeah, it's well lighter, and you wouldn't think so when you mix your colour, but it's always good to check just to see how close you are. But we're not in the light area up here, so it doesn't matter too much. It's the slightly lighter area. Every now and then I'll pick up some more colour, some more white in this colour because it's a bit bluer over here, a bit lighter. Even lighter over here, so I want a bit more of the white. See what that's like. That's quite nice. So I'm going to just take my time, fill this in. I was looking through my pictures, looking at which painting to do today, and I was thinking, oh well, this one will take this amount of time, I wonder how long that will take. And I've got one that I really want to do, but I know it'd take forever, so I'm umming and ahhing on whether I'm going to film it or not. I was thinking if I film it, I might have to speed areas up like other people do. But then that takes away some of the things that I like showing, is all of it, and that's a bit of an issue. But what can you do? I have to think about it some more. think about what I'm going to do there. Whether I do it like that or do the whole thing and then just put on a really long video. I might have to do it in parts or something. Anyway, grab a bit more of the black, blue and red. Building this cloud up. Don't know if you noticed, there's a bit of a blue hint in the light of the cloud, because what I do is I grab a little bit of the bluey white when I'm doing some of the lighter parts of the clouds. I mean, it's already there to be used and it works quite well. Can't really scrub these brushes as well as the other brushes though. These ones are a bit more of a grab your paint and then place it in a way. Which is a way of painting that I quite like as well. I do really enjoy it when, especially when you're doing a lot of trees and you get a lot of leaves and you block in your colour and then you can go on the top putting in your lights and different colours. I do enjoy that. It's always about the highlights for me. It's the enjoyable part, those lights. But you need to do all the work before, don't you? You need to get all the areas ready and then you can, boom, put in the lights. I'm going to wiggle the brush a little bit in amongst this, just to create different shapes within, and I can always pick out areas I want a bit lighter, like that. One of the tricks to keep your brush strokes when you're doing something like this is to, when you've done it, it's pretty simple really, isn't it? When you've done your stroke and you really like it, avoid that area. Don't run that brush over it, don't blend that area, don't do anything. Leave that area alone. So I just wanted to pull that bit out a little bit. And then like that. See, the good thing about doing that as well, when you put your strokes in and leave it, is It gives it a little bit more movement in those areas. Other areas you can have smoother, blended, like that area. And then what I want to do is bring out areas of cloud. That's a nice shape. It's almost the same as the photo, but it's slightly different, and I quite like it. We're getting to that point where we need the real dark. I'm just going to smudge that bit there. So just sit back, have a look at that. Getting quite good actually. See, you can roll that brush as you're pulling it away as well, and that also can give different effects within the sky. I'm quite happy with that area. I think I'll leave that. I need dark now. So, grabbing some blue, some red, and ivory black. Bit of white, bit of red. Probably nearly there. Bit more blue in it. Yeah, this is the dark bit. So our darkest area is sort of here. It's where the cloud really gets dark. I can have a bit of that there as well. And a bit in here. It'll mix with the colour that's already on, but that's alright. Get some blue in there. So I'm moving this a bit. Sort of does have a sideways sort of look to it. There's a bit of dark there as well. Okay, liking that. It's this area here we want to quite a lot of movement here. There's some quite nice lights going back in there as well, like this. And that sort of blend that bit there. Yeah, that's quite nice. Just sit back, have a look at that. Certain areas where the canvas hasn't got any paint on, I'm just going to smudge it a little bit, just so it has. I mean, I don't mind canvas showing through, to be honest. It doesn't matter too much when it's grey. You don't really notice it too much. That's why I quite like using grey as well. A bit too slightly off the mark there, too light. I want it to be a little bit light because I want to show this dark here. And then it's quite dark under there as well. Quite a lot of layers. Okay. What I want is a smaller brush because I want to get some of these dark spots. That's probably a bit too dark. If you do get into that problem of getting a paint that's a bit too dark, you could just go in with a lighter colour and put it on the top and sort of move it and it mixes. It's a little bit better. That's quite nice actually. Bring that together a bit. I want a bit of blue as well, just in there. All these clouds upon clouds upon clouds. Okay. Okay, let's have a look at that. It's quite nice. Now I can grab some of the light. I'll just show you. Just pull through this and then pull through that. So you can choose to, you're creating a lighter colour that will combine with the cloud. So I want to put a few brush strokes in and some light. First it doesn't come off the brush, do it again. So what I'm almost doing is I load my brush really thick with paint, so the paint's almost hanging off the end of the brush, and then I put it on that way. So you're not really touching paint that's on there already so much. That's looking quite nice actually. Bit of light here to make that look darker than it is. Bit of a trick. So you have to use a lot of tricks with painting, I find, because it's impossible to paint what you see. And when I first started painting, I didn't know that, of course. I didn't know that we only have a limit of what we can do with paint to what you can see. Even like when we take photos, you can only take so much of the light, so you end up having to use tricks and Photoshop and to make your photo look good. It's the same issue with paints, is you can only get so much. You can only have so much light and dark on the canvas with paint. You don't have the brightness that is out there in nature. You just can't be done. It's just impossible. The paint's not bright enough. The pigments aren't strong enough. So you've got to play around a little bit. Okay, so that's quite a cool sky, quite dramatic. So now the ground is quite simple, really. Just grass. Look at this brush. It's just a stick. I was going to use that one as well. So we'll go back to our number 12. Number 12 of the Art Studios series. And get some of my homemade paint, which I've just found out it's quite soft. Bit of blue in it, blue and green, chromium oxide, yellow. Bit of red in it, bit more yellow in it. That's not bad. See how it looks when we put it on our ground plane. Not too bad actually, not too bad. Throw a little bit of blues and into it. Blues, a bit of that cloud colour. Probably think, well, why are you putting cloud colour into the grass? It's a bit weird, isn't it? Yeah, it is a bit. Just an idea to combine everything, bring everything together by using some of the colour that's up in the sky on, reflect down onto the grass. That way of creating unity in your painting by using colours all around, everywhere. But anyway, that grass is very, very plain and simple. I'm going to get a little bit of reddish colour, reddish yellow in it as well, because I don't want it to be all the same colour. I'm using the same sort of tricks as I did with the sky. I'm not using too much pressure when I'm putting my strokes along, so then you get paint on top of paint. Don't want anything too outstanding. Some other stands up in the painting. I don't want any of that. There's a bit of a bush type thing along there. Okay, now we need to put in our trees that are in the background. So we've done the top and the bottom, and now we can do the middle. So more black in the colour, because it is really dark. The trees are really dark. I don't know if it was because of the way the light. Well, it was suppose it was very a backlit type lighting, wasn't it? I suppose that's why. I put a little bit of a bit more green in the colour there for that background area. That's quite nice. Sitting back having a look. This area as well. See how that bit of dark that I just chucked in there, it gave that a lot more depth in my trees. And now what I need to do is come back with my other brush, my root brush, and break some of that up, because there's some light piercing through. Barely ever is a block of black. There's always some light coming through the trees. So we made a quick yellowy orange. I want to put some of that in this ground. It'll mix with what's there, which is alright. It's just I felt it needed a bit more colour in there that was different, rather than just too samey really. Same down here as well. Better. So I don't want it to be bright on the grass, but I don't want it to be too dull, too boring. I mean dull as in boring, not as in dull in colour. Some changes of light there. Yeah, I think I'm there. Captured that sky quite nice actually. I'm quite happy with that. It's definitely moving sky. Definitely. And I was quite happy to get the photo at the time because I was like, I really wanted a good sky. A bit of luck there when that happened. And of course, I want to put a little bird in there. Because I did see some blackbirds on the floor. I'll put a couple in there. Maybe I'll put one there then, because that's where they were. I won't have that one. Doesn't really look like one. Didn't get the shape right on that brush stroke. They like this. Yeah, that's better. They actually do just look like that. That'll do. I won't put any more in, I'll just put that one. So what, those two flying away. They scurry along the grass more than they do fly, I think. The crows, that's what they are, crows. So yeah, quite happy with this. Hope you enjoyed watching this episode, and I'll see you at another one. So thanks very much for watching. Cheers, bye.